beer?
I don't know much about it. I know I like most of the ones I've tried, but I can't say I can find the words to describe what I like about beer other than, oh, that one's nice and fruity. Oh, that one's a bit of a meal. Yeah, it's all right. So after asking my friends who do their own homebrewing quite a few questions, I thought to myself, yeah, I need a new hobby. And so without a second thought, I ran out and bought this, the Cooper's Homebrewing Kit. Now, I've already unboxed it, so I can't show you the box, but here's a picture of what it looked like from the store that I bought it from. It was direct from Cooper's DIY themselves. And here's what is inside it. The fermenter, what the beer will ferment in. A hydrometer for testing the gravity of my beer or the amount of alcohol in the beer. A spoon, self-explanatory, for stirring. Bottles, exactly 30 of these, PET with lids. Carbonation drops for carbonating the beer once it's been bottled, basically sugar. And the beer making ingredients themselves, Cooper's extract and a packet of beer enhancer, which I've already used, but here's a picture of it. So after following all the instructions, I ended up with this, roughly 5 liters of 3.5% Cooper's lager. Now, it didn't all go perfectly the first time. The water at the start of the fermentation was about 32 degrees Celsius, too hot. It only took about 3 days to get to its final gravity, meaning it was done fermenting, and I was expecting that to take about 6 days. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm feeling like it's bad. I don't know. And the sample that I took just before bottling was pretty I don't know if I didn't clean something properly, it didn't smell or taste sulfury. It just was pretty boring and had a strange off taste. So after feeling not very excited about my first batch, I bottled about 5 liters, 2 more of these, and I tipped the rest of it down the sink. Now this bottle is just ready to drink. It could use maybe 4 or 5 more days, according to all the experts saying leave it for about 2 to 3 weeks, but why not? Let's open it right now and see if it's carbonated. I'll hold it close to the microphone. Ooh, sounds good. Not as much fizz as I expected. Don't know how well you can see that. It's definitely fizzy. Let's give it a little taste, hey? So for all intents and purposes, it looks like beer and it smells like kind of a shit beer, if I'm honest. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like it's like eggy or anything like that. It just has some weird off flavor that I just don't like, which is unfortunate, but I'm sure I can find someone to drink it. Now, this isn't going to stop me from starting a new brew. This time I'm putting a little twist on it. I'm going to make it better this time, and it's going to taste a lot better. Now, in doing my research, I came across a channel called Flying Wombat TV. Fellow Aussies like myself, but way more competent at brewing beer than I am. They have a video called How to Brew Beer for Beginners, and that is exactly what I'm following today. So, without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? Sip of beer first. Now, in front of me are all the ingredients we're going to need today. It's going right to left, or maybe it's left to right for you. I don't know. A Cooper's Pale Ale DIY kit. You can get these from most stores. I got this online. It's got a little yeast packet at the top. 1 kilo of dextrose powder. A kilo of crystal malt. 50 grams of Galaxy hops. 2 large hop socks. These have been cleaned and sanitized. 1 large pot, 15 liters. Got this from Kmart in Australia. And all the equipment from the brewer's kit that I showed earlier. Before we start, I'm going to make sure everything is clean and that anything coming into contact with the fermenter is sanitized. I don't want this beer tasting yuck. I also have about 5 liters of cold water sitting in the fridge right now. We'll use that in the fermenter later to cool things down. Let's go make the wort. So in this pot, I have 5 liters of water that is close enough to 70 degrees. I've already added the 100 grams of crystal malt to my hop sock. So we're going to chuck it in and leave it for 30 minutes. I've also got some tongs here. Probably good to prop it up off the bottom of the pot, just in case it scorches it, which can happen. Now, I'm going to come back to this periodically, maybe every 5-10 minutes. use my thermometer and make sure we keep it at somewhere around 65 to 70 degrees. So it's been about 30 minutes. I've added my 40 grams of Galaxy hops to my hop stock. We're going to chuck it in and leave it for another 20 minutes. So now I'm going to take my extract can and I'm going to let it sit in some hot water for about 20 minutes, basically until this is done. That'll make it way easier to pour when we need to. Just want to say really quickly, just before I put those hops in, I gave the packet a whiff, and for the first time ever understood where that fruity smell in a beer, or sorry, fruity taste rather, comes from in a beer. I know I made a joke at the start of the video, "Ooh, that one's fruity," and just now, like having the discovery, it's the hops. I probably should have known that, but wow, like smelling it, it was so rich in fruit. It's very exciting. Okay, it's been 20 minutes since I put the hops in. It's now time to take out the grain and the hops. Now, I'm not going to squeeze them, I'm just going to let them drain for about a minute. The hops smell amazing. So now, after a lot of effort with my can opener that is now broken, I have most of the lid off my can of extract, and we're going to tip it in and use the rubber spatula to get most of it out. I did this last time without warming the can up. Makes a lot of difference. Just going to give that a quick stir. And finally, I'm going to add the dextrose. Give that a good stir to make sure there's no lumps. And now I'm going to transition to the home brewery. Okay, I lied. We're actually in my bathroom, or I like to call it the home brewery. My wife doesn't. I've got my clean fermenter here, and I'm going to add 5 liters of cold water to it. Next, we can go ahead and add our 5 liters of wort that we have made. Now, I'm going to keep topping this up with cold water until it reaches about 23 degrees. I'm just spraying the inside of this with sanitizer whilst I fill it up with water coming out of the tap, just to be safe. We're filling this up to the 23 litre mark. Now, I filled this up to the 23 litre mark, but as you might be able to see, the temperature is still too high. We're sitting at about 27 degrees. I am going to leave this with the lid on, sanitized and everything, before pitching my yeast, and then I'm going to come back in about an hour once the temperature has dropped a little bit, and then I'm going to pitch the yeast. And then I'll see you when we do our first reading. Okay, quick update. I forgot to record myself taking the initial gravity. As we can see, we have it at about 1033, and that's going to be our initial gravity going forward. So just another update, guys. This is day 2 of fermentation, and you can see the yeast is very active, moving around, and we've got bubbling going on at the top. It's looking good. Hey guys, we're back. Now, I'm currently not feeling very well, so I can't get my full setup going, but I've just done my first test, and we can see that we're looking at, oh, let's switch lenses. We're at, what's that, 1.12, so we're looking at 1.003 gravity. Now, that tells me that we're done. That's pretty close to final gravity. I'm pretty happy with that. So at this point now, I'm gonna leave this as it is. You can see I've taken the krausen collar off. The krausen collar's off. It's currently in the sink. And I'm going to now go get some hops and I'm going to dump it in. So the hops we're going to be using are these Morgan's Finishing hops. They're the same kind, they're Galaxy. And they do say that for an aroma dry hop, we want to put them in for about 5 to 7 days. I'm going to go for 5 and see how we go. I'll take another taste sample, which I've tasted that and it tastes good. So we'll go for about 5 days with them in there and we'll see how it is. By the way, this is, I think, yeah, 12 grams, there we go. So 12 grams of finishing hops. One thing I did forget to mention really quickly is it comes in a little tea bag from the container. And so I can just throw this straight in and leave it as is, which is perfect. It's quite similar to how we did the hops in the original brew earlier in the pot, except this is just going to sit in the fermenter and the oils and whatnot will slowly seep out and give it a good bit of extra flavor and aroma. So yeah, I'm going to dump this in and leave it for 5 days. Now I'll see you in 5 days and we'll cut to the bottling day now. Alright, well, my audio recorder stopped working right as I was about to record the second video where I'm making, it's going to be a surprise, you have to stay tuned for it. It's currently on the stove boiling as we speak. But now's a good time to talk about the pale ale we brew. Now, it's good. I've called it PAPA, short acronym for Pretty Average Pale Ale. That's because a couple of my friends who were not used to drinking homebrew had to look past some of the yeast flavor that you tend to get with you know, your first batches of homebrew, but you know, it's good. I like it. Now that spoils the surprise that yes, I have already tasted it. It was for an event that I had yesterday, so that's why they were all in the esky, as you just saw, nice and cold. There's a few left, so more for me. We're gonna crack one and we're gonna have some now. I'll show you what it looks like. Now, this is probably the best one I've had so far. As far as the ones I've opened, they've ranged from a little bit of carbonation to a little bit more, but nothing super carbonated. I wish I'd reached for this one when I gave my dad some, because the one he got was not very carbonated at all and had a lot of sugar still in suspension, which gave a lot of yeast flavor. Excuse the planes, by the way. I'm outside, it's the only place with natural light. Okay, it's pretty much gone. As I was saying, out here right now is the only place with natural light. It is currently raining where I am, and so it's very gloomy inside, and it doesn't look very good. So I thought this would be fine enough. Anyway, let's taste our beer, why don't we? I have to say, a second day in the freezer, esky, sorry, has done a lot for the flavor. It's really taken away some of that yeast. I'm really happy with this. I brew this again for sure. Yum. Get the extra hops, fruit aroma and flavor. Just sort of brightens up what was originally the first lager I had, which was just sort of a bit of a boring beer. To, hey, like there's some good flavors here. Yum. I'll do better explaining it in the future. I guess that was the point of this series, is to brew beers and get better at describing the flavors. Right now, yep, it's a little bit fruity, but the beer I'm brewing at the moment has just more than one kind of hops in it, and I've smelt them, the different kinds of hops, and it's really great to be able to pick the differences between the two. I wouldn't be able to do it blind and tell you it's this one, but some are definitely more subtle than others, and I'm keen to see how they interact with different grains. But that's coming up soon. In the meantime, you can enjoy me take another sip, and then I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for sticking around. I really appreciate it. Bye.